What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for Love and Marriage Detroit season 1 episode 6. So we are still at the Coney Island with Anthony, Christina, and Brandon. Now listen, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm with Christina and Brandon on this whole situation. I do not understand how Brandon calling Kobe a Kobe cat erupted into all of this. Like, I mean, you got her husband threatening to break every bone in Brandon's body. Like, I just think it's a lie. Now, ultimately, I even understand both points of view when it comes to this endorsement situation. And I do think that if Christina had just picked up the phone and called Kobe, I think all of this would have been resolved. But neither here nor there. We're here, we are. Brandon, I mean, yeah, Anthony's talking about he can't trust Brandon and because of everything going on with Kobe. And Christina and them were like, I feel like y'all are just jumping on their bandwagon. Like, I feel like now it's everybody against us because of what? Because Brandon called her a Kobe cat. Like, you didn't even talk to us. You didn't even get our side of the story before you decided we were wrong and they were right. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm with Christina and Brandon on this one. And, I ain't with them on a lot. But I'm with them on this one. I do think Anthony was doing a lot. Whereas Dr. Latanya really is trying to stay neutral. I think she's leaning towards Kobe, but I think she's trying to stay neutral as it relates to the situation. So ultimately, Christina was like, yeah, I'm over this. I'm done with this conversation and I'm over it. And she felt some kind of way, as she should, because I would have too. Now, then we see Anthony talking to Dr. Latanya, giving her the breakdown of how the conversation went. And she even told him, she was like, I don't want it to seem like we're taking sides. Like, from the way the conversation went, it sounds like Christina feels like we've chosen a side. And I don't want her to feel like that because we haven't, or at least I haven't chosen a side. Brandon feels like Anthony is basically trying to snake him out of this showcase, which it seems like Anthony might be. We found out later on in the episode, Anthony done got the DJ. Anthony done got, well, we found that out last week, but then Anthony got the nerve to tell Brandon, you got 6 slots. How does he only have 6 slots in his showcase? Who else you bringing? But anyway, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. So then we see Kobe and her husband. What's his name? Randall, Reggie, Ronaldo. I don't know. What's that man's name? Anyway, she's talking to him, and he's talking about buying this gym again. And it's almost as if they did not have a conversation at all about her being equal in it, her being 50-50. He's talking about something, yeah, I'm going to head down to the gym so I can sit down and start talking about, like, making a deal and financing. Did we ever have a conversation about whether we agreed that as a unit we were going to buy a gym? Or is this something you decided without us having a conversation as a couple about it? Like, is this what you decided? Because I don't ever remember us talking about buying this gym. I remember you saying you were thinking about it, you were interested. I remember you going down there without me and me telling you I didn't appreciate that. And now you talking about something, you ready to go buy this gym. And he still don't seem to feel like he's doing anything wrong. He doesn't seem to feel like there's a problem with how he's rolling and how he's moving. And again, I know y'all gave me a lot of pushback on this whole him going to school, going to theology school. Y'all gave me a lot of pushback. Well, God called you, God called you, God called you. Okay, yes. But God also does not create. He is not the author of chaos. I do not believe that her husband is handling this in the best way he could be handling it. I'm not saying God didn't call him, but I also feel like God didn't want you setting up no mess either. But neither here nor there. So then we see Christina and Brandon linking up so they can work on the showcase. Brandon said that he feels like Anthony is trying to cut him out of the showcase, and so he has Christina helping him. And that's when we found out that Anthony told him he got 6 slots. Now they're gonna have 30 performers, but he only has 6 slots, and this is supposed to be his showcase. So first of all, if this is his showcase, why doesn't he have all 30 slots? at the very least, he should have the majority. How he only getting 6 out of 30 people? First of all. Second of all, who the hell sent through 30 performances? I mean, I've never been to a showcase like that. But I've been to like exhibitions and things of that nature where you know, you're trying to put people on display. Who's sitting through 30 performances? That's a lot. That's like a festival style concert. 30 performances? Shit. And of course, this just further irritates Christina and Brandon about what Anthony is doing and how Anthony is pushing them out of the situation. Now, I find it interesting that Christina was like, yeah, we need this showcase to be a hit because we need to sign some more artists. Oh, you mean like the artists like you don't want your husband working with? Or you mean like going into clubs to find the artists? Like, I find it funny that all of a sudden now, yeah, we need more artists, we need more artists. But when your husband was trying to explain that to you, I still don't agree that he signed, but I'm sorry, I had just put something in my mouth. But the bottom line is, now you understand what your husband has been trying to tell you, that there are certain things that he's doing because he has to do. Now, the problem is you have messed up her trust because you was out here messing around and doing things you weren't supposed to be doing. But ultimately, he does need to go out and he does need to do these things in order for him to build up his business, build up the Star Factory. Then we see Christina meeting with a publicist, right? And once again, here come Anthony being shady. So it's this publicist that Christina wants to work with. And she was like, well, everything looks good, but we do need to have a conversation before we move forward. I work with the Thompsons, and when I brought up your name to Anthony, Anthony was like, what? I'm surprised you're working with them because Brandon don't even like you. Anthony, I don't feel like that was your place to express that. Like, first of all, that's not your business. Her relationship, that lady's relationship with the two of them is her relationship with the two of them. If Brandon has a problem with her, she'll find out soon enough. Now, if this woman was a personal friend of yours, okay, maybe. But, because he tried to say later on, because she's on my team, her being on your team has nothing to do with who else she works with. And maybe, just maybe, maybe Brandon does still have an issue with her. But maybe Brandon and Christina have talked it out and worked it out and come up with a solution or come up with a resolution, right? Maybe, just maybe. You don't know because you ain't pick up the phone and call and find out. But I feel like that was real shady for you to say that to that woman to purpose, because that is on purpose. Now, you talk about somebody doing some snake shit. You talk about somebody going behind somebody's back. I felt like that was some real snake shit that you did, Anthony, when you gonna say, oh, I'm surprised you working with them because Brandon said he don't even like you. Why would you even say that to that woman? Like, you could have said, might want to be careful. You could have said, wow, okay, all right. Well, I know them. So if there's any insight you might want or need, ask away. You know what I mean? Like, there were ways you could have done that, but I feel like what you did, I feel like you were being the snake in this situation. But neither here nor there. So then we see Kobe talking to her friend, venting about her husband. And again, girl, you talking about the same thing you've been talking about since the first episode. So at this point, my attitude is, girl, either I'm not saying leave him. I'm not saying that at all. But girl, either y'all need to come to some sort of resolution, understanding situation, or you just need to let this thing go. Because Randall, that's his name, Randall. Because I don't see Randall doing nothing different than what Randall doing. Now, that's just my opinion. That is my opinion. Okay? But you have a right to feel the way you feel, but what you going to do about it? You have been venting since the first episode about Randall not communicating with you. All right. So, Randall then invited the folks down to Bible study. It is his homework assignment from theology school to have Bible study, okay? So, it's Anthony, it's Bravo, it's Randall, and then here come Brandon. Now, Brandon is coming through there with his apostle, bishop, sanctified, consecrated, thick old Bible that, I don't know, probably been in his family since slavery. I don't know. Where did you get that Bible from? But Brandon did say it was his father's or his grandfather's or something. It didn't look like it. It looked like the old family Bible. That's exact. My family, we got a Bible. That thing is this thick. It's hardcover, but it's a family Bible, and that's exactly what that thing looked like. He walked up in there with, child. So Brandon was like, look, I ain't seen Randall since Randall threatened to break every bone in my body. Now, Randall started off by apologizing. Well, they started off with prayer. But then he did apologize to Brandon. And Brandon was like, yeah, I thought that was a little harsh. You know, threatening to break every bone in my body, I felt was a bit much. But Randall did apologize to him. He told him that, you know, he was emotional and he allowed his emotions to, you know, get the best of him. So somewhere in this conversation, Brandon confronts Anthony about the showcase and the fact that he feels like they're trying to take the showcase over, take the showcase from him. And Anthony was like, well, you know, me and you weren't really speaking. You and Randall weren't really speaking. So I felt like I needed to just take over because I needed to make sure it was getting done. And Brandon's thing was, it was getting done. If you had communicated with me, you would have known what was happening, what wasn't happening, what I could do, what I couldn't do. But you weren't talking to me, so you just decided to take it upon yourself to just do, you know, to do this thing. Then Brandon confronts Anthony about the statement to the publicist. And Brandon was like, I never said that. And Anthony was like, you absolutely said that about that woman. You absolutely said, he said, that is a quote. The quote was, I don't even rock with her like that. Like, you literally said that. Now, it turned into a really nasty argument. Like, it really did. You know, Anthony calling Brandon a little boy, talking about, you know, you wish you could do what I do, and Brandon talking about, so don't nobody know what you do, and then Anthony talking about some, you ain't never made a hit from the Hit Factory. Like, I mean, they went below the belt, and it really got nasty. Like, see, this is how you know the difference between men and women. Men can argue like this and be friends again. Women, some of that stuff that they said to each other, for me, it would have been a wrap. Like, that would have been it. Like, I really felt like they was getting ready to come to blows. Like, I really felt like they was getting ready to straight up just fight. And some of that we wouldn't have resolved. I'm just be honest with you, baby. Some of that stuff, they really went below the belt. And finally, Anthony was like, look, you know, if I misquoted you, then my bad. But I mean, you know, I'm gonna tell my people because she's on my team, and I felt like she needed to know, kind of thing. Child, didn't they pray? Didn't they pray? So then Christina met up with Kobe. Now listen, see, sometimes you can be right, but the way you choose to handle a situation makes you wrong. In this case between Kobe and Christina, based on what we've seen on screen, I honestly feel like Kobe is right, and I feel like Christina handled it wrong. However, in this conversation, Kobe showed up on go, and it didn't matter what Christina said. And, you know, I'm not even going to say it was editing, because from the minute Kobe sat down, she was on go. Every time Christina tried to talk, Kobe cut her off. Every time Christina tried to explain her situation, Kobe was raising her voice. She started pointing her finger, and y'all already know. If you start doing this, it's a wrap. To be perfectly honest, though, I understand Kobe being upset. I mean, they were supposed to be friends. I mean, the girl didn't even call you on your birthday. Although, your husband did uninvite her from your birthday party. So, I mean, maybe that's why she didn't feel the need to call you, because she wasn't invited to the party. I don't know. But honestly, Kobe, the way you showed up and the way you handled that conversation was just rude. Like, I don't know what you expected Christina to say. Now, Kobe's points were valid. If you had picked up the phone and called me, we could have talked about it. It didn't need to be addressed at the bowling alley. It didn't need to go through. And then Kobe was getting upset because she was like, and don't call my husband, don't call my husband, don't call my husband. Because it seems like Christina called Randall to talk to Randall about what Anthony was doing and how she felt about what Anthony was doing. And Kobe felt like, don't call my husband. Like, there's no need for you to call my husband. If you got a problem, you come to me. You know, you're not even speaking to me, but you feel like it's okay for you to call my husband. Now, I understood her anger. Let's be clear. I understood her anger. Because why are you calling my husband? I mean, you calling my husband to talk about Anthony? Girl, you can't call me, but you can call my husband. Like, I understood where she was coming from. Her point was very valid. I get that. But the flip side of it is, you're never going to have a conversation and resolve anything if you're yelling, pointing your finger, and talking over her. And honestly, it got to the point where Christina was like, well, I mean, it's nothing else for us to talk about. Like, you're not letting me talk. You're not allowing me to speak. So there's really nothing. Like I'm like, what can I do with this conversation? So anyway, that was pretty much the end of the episode. There was no resolution. See how the women can't resolve stuff? Men damn near came to blows and they prayed. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.